What happens when an ordinary supervillain becomes the next big thing of a superhero? After he defeats one, easy, you got this film right here from DreamWorks. Can you believe it's been 15 years since it came out? Strap yourselves in, because here's my review of Megamind. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 2010 animated superhero comedy flick Megamind from DreamWorks Animation, distributed by Paramount, directed by Tom McGrath, written by Alan Schoolcraft and Brent Simons, featuring the voices of Will Ferrell as the title character, along with Tina Fey, Jonah Hill, David Cross, and Brad Pitt. It tells the story of Megamind, a highly intelligent alien supervillain. After defeating his longtime nemesis Metro Man, Megamind creates a new hero to fight, but must act to save the city when his creation becomes evil. The film was released on this day, November 5th, 2010. Henceforth, today's the 15th anniversary of this film. It did decent enough and got good reviews. In the years following, it has become a kind of in a way a cult classic, but it's really gained a cult following via a variety of internet memes. Soon it later spawned a franchise that included three video games and a short film, Megamind the Button of Doom, which was included in the home media releases of the film. Let's get into the story. Supervillain Megamind and his polar opposite, the superhero Metro Man, are aliens, a different species who were both independently sent to Earth as infants before a black hole destroyed their planets. Though both land in Metro City, or Metrocity as Megamind calls it, simultaneously, Metro Man is raised in a rich mansion and Megamind in a prison. At the school they attend, Metro Man is well liked by his classmates, while Megamind is relentlessly bullied until he reaches his breaking point, setting off a rivalry between him and Metro Man. Over the years, Megamind and his fish like assistant and best friend Minion frequently and unsuccessfully battle Metro Man for control of the city. On the day of the new Metro Man Museum's grand opening, I almost said Mega Man, excuse me, Megamind escapes prison, kidnaps news reporter Roxanne Ritchie, and lures Metro Man to an abandoned observatory, excuse me again, to rescue her. Megamind blasts him with a sun-powered death ray. Metro Man is unable to escape. Saying the copper-lined observatory roof weakens his powers. Overjoyed, Megamind takes over the city and executes a crime spree, but eventually becomes depressed and purposeless without Metro Man to oppose him. So he decides to blow up the Metro Man Museum to forget the hero, but sees Roxanne is also there. As he runs, he dehydrates the got sidetracked again. The museum's curator Bernard, turning him into a small cube. Disguised as Bernard using hologram technology, Megamind talks to Roxanne, whose remarks inspire him to use Metro Man's DNA to create a new superhero to fight. Megamind perfects the formula, but during a fight between him and Roxanne in his lair, he accidentally injected into Hal Stewart, Roxanne's cameraman, who is infatuated with her. Disguising himself via hologram as Hal's space dad, Megamind mind here I go again. Megamind trains Hal to become a superhero. Hal, seeing this as a chance to win Roxanne's heart, accepts and takes on the name Titan, which he misspells as Titan, Tighthen, when the name's really Titan. Megamind begins to date Roxanne while disguised as Bernard, and he and Minion have a falling out over Megamind's apparent lack of interest in committing further crimes. Roxanne rejects Titan when he comes to court her, and Tyan later witnesses her on a date with Megamind disguised as Bernard. After a heartbroken Tyan leaves, Megamind's disguise fails and Roxanne rejects him as well. Mega Man. There we go, again. Megamind arranges to fight Tyan the next day, but soon learns that Tyan is now using his powers to conduct a crime spree. Tyan offers to ally with Megamind, who deliberately reveals his disguises and deceptions to goad Tyan into fighting. Angered, Tyan savagely beats Megamind in the fight. Realizing that Tyan is uninterested in justice and means to kill him, Megamind traps Tyan in a copper ball, but it fails when Titan easily breaks out. Megamind and Roxanne escape to Metro Man's old hideout and discover that he is still alive, having faced his weakness and death to rename himself Music Man and pursue his dream as a musician. Megamind attempts to enlist his help against time, but Music Man refuses. He instead attempts to encourage Megamind to become the Sea's new hero by telling him that a hero will always rise to defeat evil. Alright, this is it. Now I'm going to the ending. As always, you know the procedure for this a little bit, as always. You have 5 seconds to sub this video at once. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below. If you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Dejected, Megamind willingly returns to prison. Tyan goes on a rampage and kidnaps Roxanne when she tries to reason with him. On a televised message, Tyan holds Roxanne hostage and demands that Megamind fight him. Regretting his actions of trying to kill Metro Man in the first place, a redeemed Megamind escapes prison with the help of Mia and reconciles with him. He goes to confront Tyan using holographic disguises to appear as Metro Man and Minion as Megamind to frighten Tyan away and rescue Roxanne. However, Megamind's speech patterns give him away, and Tyan attacks Megamind, throwing him into the stratosphere. Dehydrating himself into a cube and landing safely in the fountain, Megamind rehydrates next to Tyan and extracts the DNA from him, removing Tyan's powers. After Hal is arrested, Megamind rekindles his relationship with Roxanne while the city celebrates Megamind as their new hero. The museum is rebuilt in Megamind's honor. A disguised music band cheers for him at the grand opening ceremony, and everyone dances to Michael Jackson's Bad. End of story. So, what did I think of Megamind? Well, now I've only seen this a few times. I will say I feel like this is easily a very underrated film of DreamWorks Animation. But however, like I said, it has garnered a cult following in the years since. The film still did well at the box office, going on to make $321 million worldwide on its $130 million budget. Now, and the reviews were very good and what have you. Apparently, the film opened pretty well. When it opened with 46 million, just barely surpassing DreamWorks' other hit from that same year, How to Train Your Dragon. The film's reviews were good, saying at 73% on Rotten Tomatoes saying it regurgitates plot points from earlier animated efforts and isn't quite as funny as it should be, but a top shelf voice cast and strong visuals help make the film a pleasant, if unspectacular, diversion. Metacritic has a score of 63, and Audience's poll by CinemaScore gave this an A minus. Roger Ebert gave this 3 stars out of 4 in the Chicago Sun-Times, saying this setup is bright and amusing, even if it does feel recycled from bits and pieces of such recent anime landmarks as The Incredibles with its superpowers and Despicable Me with its villain. The New York Times' Stephen Holden positively wrote in his review. Visually, the film is immaculately sleek and gracefully enhanced by 3D Entertainment Weekly reviewer Owen Gleiberman graded this a B plus and wrote, "Too goofy, surreal to pack a lot of emotional punch, but it's antically light on its feet with 3D images that have a lustrous, gizmo-mad sci-fi clarity." Peter Travers of Rolling Stone commented, "What this raucous 3D animated funhouse lacks in originality, thanked bastard child of The Incredibles and Despicable Me, it makes up for in visual and vocal wit." Betsy Sharkey of the LA Times wrote, "Just as Megamind struggles to find a center, at times, so does the film." The main point of criticism was the film's perceived lack of originality. And what have you. But I won't get into much of that. Still, I will say that Megamind proved to be such a fun-filled film. I mean, yes, it's kind of like a mix of The Incredibles and Despicable Me rolled into one, in a way. But even so, I found the film to be pretty fun and what have you. After its release, there would be several video games. There would be one game to coincide with the film's release. Then later on, we got Megamind Ultimate Showdown, Megamind Mega Team Unite, and Megamind the Blue Defender. Yes. Of course, when the film was released on DVD and Blu ray, a new short film was added called Megamind the Button of Doom, which unfortunately I've never seen though. It has a story by the original writers of the film, and the short is set after the events of the film, showcasing Megamind's first day as defender of Metro City. Yep. However, last year, in March of last year, we actually got a new sequel in Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate. Then after that, a new series came to Peacock called Megamind Rules. Both of those came out. Unfortunately, however, everyone was not impressed with that new film, and it was one of the worst reviewed films of last year. I be thankful I haven't even watched this because they bring different voice actors. I really don't feel comfortable with that. Yeah, a shame. What a shame. But don't expect me to review that though, unfortunately. Because I would have, but I really wanted to try and get this one reviewed first because I think it's much better. But from what I've seen of Megamind, it's a pretty good film. Maybe not one of DreamWorks' best, but still proved to be a good film nonetheless. Its score was done by Hans Zimmer and Lauren Balfe. Both did pretty good. Now, for our voice acting cast, we have Will Ferrell voicing Megamind, who's a blue-skinned humanoid alien supervillain with a large skull. And according to this, he's a parody of both Lex Luthor and Brainiac from Superman. I gotta say, he's pretty funny. Now, the next character is Roxanne, or Roxy Ritchie, voiced by Tina Fey, who's a parody of Lois Lane. I think was absolutely, really, really good and what have you. Now, as for Metroman, a later Music Man, it's Brad Pitt, who's a parody of Superman. I gotta give him credit for what he had to offer. I mean, according to the home release commentary, it notes that his costume and showmanship are purposely evocative of Alice Presley, whereas to Megamind's, his costume and showmanship are purposely evocative of Alice Cooper. Now, Jonah Hill voices Hal Stewart, aka Tyan, and his name is reference to both Hal Jordan and John Stewart of the Green Lantern Corps. Really something. Voicing Minion is David Cross, and his costume is evocative of Roman from the independent 3D sci-fi horror flick Robot Monster, aka, well, also released as Monster from Mars in 1953. I've never seen it though. It looks like I just wanted to check to see what that was. We also had J.K. Simmons, who had recently played J. Jonah Jameson in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films, appear as the warden, the head of the Metro City Prison. There's also Ben Stiller as the voice of Bernard. Yes, and there's lots of others and what have you. So Megamind's not too bad. I really do think this is a pretty underrated film. Again, not one of DreamWorks' best, but it still proves to be pretty fun and exciting in ways. So if you're into stuff like maybe The Incredibles or Despicable Me, then you'll feel right at home with Megamind. Would I recommend it? I'd say sure, go ahead. Give it a try. You might like it. So what did you think of Megamind? Let me know in the comments section below. Excuse me. And if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel. You know the rest. And join me next time when I bring to you my next Do You Remember episode, and it'll be on the rarely remembered 80s sitcom We Got It Made. I still say it's factually rarely remembered, but I think you'll know that might not be much when I talk about it. Alright, that's going to do it. So if you like this, check out my reviews for these other DreamWorks animation features. You can check out my review of a film that came out before this in Kung Fu Panda in the upper left-hand corner, or go to the upper right-hand corner and you can see my spoiler-free review of one of their recent anime hits from earlier this year in Dogman. Or you can go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of the studio's other hit film from 2010, and that's the original How to Train Your Dragon. Look for a review of the live action one coming up later in the month. In the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.